Okay, so now let us work on this. Maybe clears it. Okay, so you can use a clear statement to clear it, and also here it is telling 15th if all the values are retained by a in the previous session. So let me just go ahead and restart our kernel also, so it doesn't hold any values. Also here we are not going to be using this one also for this example too. Okay, so let us work on a few operators. So the examples will see the same examples. So 1 plus 1 should be equal to 2. Okay, you can bind this value to a variable also. A is equal to 1 plus 1. So what is the value of a? It is 2. Okay, even subtraction can be done. 10 minus 9, so that is equal to 1. Okay, multiplication 3 into 5, which was the example we saw in the table, so that is 15, perfectly works. So you can multiply anything, 9 into 9. So again, you can have spaces between the operator and the numbers itself, so it will still work. But what if I tell a into b? Does that work? No, it says an error. So here what it is trying is a is defined whereas b is not defined. Okay, so maybe I'll define this as b, maybe not 90 into 9, maybe 5, 3 into 5. So b value is 15, and what is the a value? It is 2, 2, 15, 13. So a into b, so it will give 30. Okay, so what if I am using a string? So here I'm actually multiplying a into b. Okay, so here it is telling cannot multiply a non-integer of type string. So it is already telling I'm using a type string and it is a non-integer. So basically I have to use integers, or it can be float also. Even float works. For example, if a is equal to 5.45 and b is equal to 1.2. Okay, so now I can multiply a into b. So you can see it is giving me back 6.5. If you want to store this value, you can give c is equal to a into b. So what is c? 6.54. But all the other operations over here, it is not saved. It is giving me output, but it is not saved. This 30 is gone. It is not saved. Okay, so again this will be seeing what exactly is or is not. Okay, so next, comparison operators. So I can tell is 3 lesser than 5? Definitely it is. So we are getting true. What if the other way around? Is 3 greater than 5? No, it is false. And is 3 greater than 3? No, it is false. Is 3 greater than equal to 3? Okay, so here literally it is going like an assignment. Okay, it is greater than or equal to. Okay, so note that the arrow mark should come first and then comes the equal sign, or else what happens is it is taking as an assignment. Okay, so this is true, it is equal or it is greater than. Over here it is greater. What if I give 3.0? It is still true. Okay, so even float values work. So I can give 3.5, 3.5. Okay, so it is still true. Okay, and what about double equal to, or we'll see lesser than equal to? So it is also true. Okay, so we can see double equal to, so maybe 5 double equal to 4. No, 5 double equal to 5. Yes, it is true. What about strings? A B C D double equal to A B C D? It is true. What if I use ABC? No, it is false. And what if I use later lesser than equal to? So it is false. So can I use greater than or equal to? It is telling true. So basically, with respect to strings, it is seeing number of characters. Okay, so number of characters. So that is how it is comparing. Okay, but usually we don't do this kind of comparison. So this is something known as, it is syntactically correct, whereas semantically it is incorrect. So basically, ABCD is greater than ABC. If you are telling length of ABCD, even that can be done. So length of ABCD. Okay, this is a statement. So here it is telling 4. So length of ABCD is greater than or equal to length of ABC. So this also makes sense with schematically. So again, we'll be seeing this in a video later on. Okay, so that is comparison, and also not equal to. So maybe I can give ABCD. Okay, length will definitely have. So here I have ABCD and ABCB. Okay, so here I'm comparing length. So it is true. What if, let us check with respect to this. It is telling true. So basically here it was comparing the number of elements rather than what exactly is inside the string. Okay, so abcd can be compared with 1 2 3 4. So even that is telling true. Okay, so this we can tell it is using the number of elements. And what about not equal to? Okay, so it is true. So basically length is not equal. So if I give 4 over here, it is still telling true. So that is odd. Okay, when I'm using not equal to, I think it is comparing the alphabets itself. It is comparing the both strings itself, right? So here it is telling false when I'm using uh, ABCD not equal to ABCD. But if I am using 1 2 3 4, it is comparing the values and it is telling it is true itself. Okay, and what about is or is not? So A equal to 5 and let me give B equal to 5. So I can tell 5 is 5. So that is true. Basically here I should use double equal to, but I'm using as is condition. So here it is literal, but basically you need to use in that way. So we'll just ignore the syntax warning over here. Okay, we'll just use this. So you can use this in terms of objects. Okay, list tuples, we'll be seeing that later. Okay, so just ignore the warning over here. We'll continue. Can I tell A is like I have already declared A, right? So A is 5. So it is still telling true. Okay. And what if I tell B is equal to 5? What is B? 5. What is A? 5. Now if I tell A is B, it is telling true because it is comparing the same value. Okay. And what if I declare A equal to B itself? And A is B. So basically both are true. It is fine. Okay. So we'll be seeing more example with respect to is further on with respect to the other courses. Now we'll be seeing or and not. Okay. So here we'll see Boolean equals. Okay. So true will assign to A and let B be false. And it is case sensitive. I had to mention earlier, but I didn't. But true should be capital T. Okay. If I make small t, okay, let me define with false itself. So let me just tell with small f. So here you can tell it is like false, is not defined. Okay, so if you make this capital, so it is takes as a boolean. So boolean will be like kind of the first letter will be capital. So that is for true, T capital. For false, F is capital. Okay, so that will make it as a bool. Again, you can observe over here even it is going as a white. So telling it is a variable. So usually variables are white color in Spider. So again, it holds different for different text editors. Okay, so if I'm telling A or B, so one of them should be true. So that's why we have true condition. Okay, so if I have false and false, false or false, this is a false. So false or true. So definitely I'll get back true. Okay, so or condition is checking whether one of them is true. One of these conditions are true. Okay, so that gives us true. And what about and condition? We can do as A and B. So it is false. So basically A is true whereas B is false. So I can do A and true. Okay. So this is a true condition whereas A is already true, which we have only declared. So that is telling true itself. Okay. And what about not? Not will invert it. So not of A. So if I am telling not of A, it is changing from true to false. So B will do that same. So not of B. So that is telling true. So basically we had declared not as B as false, and when we are using not of B, it is telling true. Okay. So that is about the operators. So that's all for this session. In the next session, we'll have a quick introduction about variables.